Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to learn how to deploy a new MiCollab user. So in this tutorial we are going to learn how to deploy a new MiCollab Softphone user. So to deploy a new MiCollab Softphone user, you need to log on to the MiCollab server with your credentials, and then there are two types of logins that we want to discuss, two types of access levels that you should have for logging onto the MiCollab server. Number one, we got this a login user who is a system engineer, and we got this number two, someone who is a system housekeeper who is responsible for daily moves, adds and changes, and the system engineer is responsible for setting up the system. So if you are a system engineer, you are going to go, when you are on the LAN, you open the browser of your choice, the web browser of your choice, and then you are going to put the IP address of the MiCollab server, then / the word server minus manager. And then if you are the system housekeeper, you will also do the same. If you are on the LAN, you put your IP address of MiCollab, server, then / the name USP. So for example, the IP address will be 192.168.1.11 / the word server manager, server minus manager. If you are a system housekeeper, you also do the same, 192.168.1.11 / USP. But if you are on the LAN, and because there is DNS, you could actually use the FQDN of MiCollab here, / server manager. Or you can also, if you are a system housekeeper, you can also use the FQDN of the MiCollab server / USP. And then when you submit that, it's going to open up a window which is going to ask you for the username and password. For the system engineer, the username is admin, all lowercase, unless there's been created another account for the system engineer with a different username, of which the system engineer will then know what username to use here apart from admin. But otherwise, by default, it is always admin. And then the username for the housekeeper is equal to, it should be what the system engineer tells the housekeeper to use. The system engineer will create an account for the housekeeper. So let's say in this example, the system engineer tells the housekeeper that your username is housekeeper. So the system engineer will put the username and password. The password is, the system engineer will know the password because the system engineer would have set the password during the installation of the MiCollab server. So the system engineer already knows the password for this account admin. So let's say the password could be password key, just as an example. Password key 45. Then the password for the housekeeper is what the system engineer would have set when creating the account for the housekeeper. Let's say the system engineer tells the housekeeper that your password is house 8 keep 80. This could be probably the password for the housekeeper. So after they put in the admin username and password, then they are going to click on login. Then they will click on login. Once they do that, the web page is going to let them in onto the MiCollab server. And what the system engineer sees, their view is much wider. It has got more features and options to set than what a housekeeper would see. A housekeeper would just see users and services only. And this is what we want the housekeeper to see and work with. But in terms of the engineer, there's so many things that the engineer can see. And in our next step, I'm just going to log in as a system engineer and just take you through what the engineer will see. And then we'll go through the system housekeeper when logged in and what the system housekeeper does see. And then from there, we will create a new user. Okay, so here I've opened up my web browser and I'm using the fkdn here /server manager. And this takes me to where my username was admin, because I am the system engineer. And this is what I see. If I do this, I will see applications, I will see service link, I will see administration, I will see configuration, and if I scroll down, I will see more things down there. But that is if I'm logged in as a system engineer. But in our case, we are going to demonstrate deploying a user while logged in as a housekeeper, while logged in as a system housekeeper. So to do that, I'm just going to close this window for the system engineer. Then we are left with this window. This window is where I am logged in as a, I put the fqdn of MiCollab here /USP. And then I'm logged in as a housekeeper. And when I log in as a housekeeper, my view just takes me to users and services only. This is all I can see. That is all that I can see. So we are going to add a new MiCollab Softphone user. We are going to click on quick add. let's go ahead and do that. We click on quick add, and it's going to open up this new window. In this new window, there is a section called role, and it has this drop down. So we are going to click on the drop down there, and once we do that, we are going to select the user lab role. You see there is this role that we are going to select, which is somewhere here. Okay, this is the role, lab role. Do this so that you can see it. It is this one. Okay, lab row. So we are going to select that lab row. That lab row was created by the system engineer when they were setting up roles. So we will go ahead and select that lab row. Then it does this. We are going to enter first name. Maybe the first name is John, and maybe the last name is Doe. And then this login is going to be auto filled in by the system. And we have to, of course, type in the email address for the user John Doe, and the email address is compulsory. So probably it's jdoe at lab.com, and we are going to come and put the extension number that we want this user to use. Probably is going to be 4004, and the SIP password and the confirm SIP password are auto generated by the system using this row. This is the function of the row, to autofill the SIP password. But once we finish creating this user, this password here, because we don't see it, is going to be emailed to the user by the system, and the user will be able to see what numbers are in here, what is the SIP password. So let us go ahead and fill in those details. So I'm going to say John Doe, and then I am not going to do anything on the login. I'm just going to skip and go to primary email, and already once I do that, MiCollab automatically filled in the login ID. The login ID is Doe John. The system automatically created that, created the login ID for this user. It uses last name, and initial of the first name, and initial of first name. So the last name is Doe and the first name is John, but the initial for John is J, so it created the login ID of Doe J. If, for example, the first name was let's say Goodman, the login ID would have been Man G. Okay, I hope you have grasped with that. So what is left for us is to save this. We come here and we click on save. Let's go ahead and click on save there. And we wait for the system to save. Okay, in my case I did not put the email address and I did not put the number, so the system has prompted me that it's not going to save this user because there is an error. So I am going to go ahead and fill what it is missing. We say it's jdo at lab.com, and this we say the extension number for the software is going to be 4004. So we save now. We let the system do that and we wait. Okay, once it is done, you can see that this save was highlighted while it was saving, and when it was done saving, it grayed out and we are left with this cancel being highlighted, being bold. So at this point the user has been created, and at this point an email has been sent to the user. Here, this user, this email address would receive an email. So what is left for us now is to just click on cancel, because the system has already created the user, so we are just cancelling so that we come out of this user edit setting, this user settings. We click on cancel and we can search to see if our user was indeed created. We are going to type Doe in the search field here and we click on search, and this is our user. Our user has been created. As we can see, we searched for Doe here and we clicked on search, and the system has returned the user. Last name Doe, first name John, and the phones he has is a MiCollab Softphone 4004. It is configured for new point unified messaging. It is configured for MiCollab client. It is configured for audio web video conferencing, and it is also configured as a teleworker. So just for interest's sake, we can try and edit this user. If probably we need to make some changes, we can tick in this box, check mark this box. You see this edit or delete is grayed out, but once I check mark this box, they are highlighted, they become live. So at this point I can say probably I want to send the email again to this user, of which if I drop down and then I'll click on for selected users, it means it's going to send this user an email again. Deploy is going to send this email again to the user will receive another email. or I can go and click on edit here, and it takes me into this settings for John Doe. Edit user Doe John. From here I can look at these settings, or I can go and look at what phones this user has by clicking in this tab for the phones. If I click here, it's going to tell me that this user has a phone number 4004. It is a soft phone. I can also click on advanced settings here. It will also give me more information like class of service, class of restriction, service level, it's full. So we can also click into these other tabs. Just for interest sake, I can click on new point unified messaging. Let's see what it shows us. It shows us this information to do with mailboxes and voicemail. Or I can click on MiCollab client. It's going to show me that this user is using a feature profile called UCC standard. The user profile is a default user, and the soft phone is number 4004. We can also go into the audio web conferencing, or we can go into the Teleworker tab. So that is all for this video. We've shown you how to create or deploy a new MiCollab Softphone user, and we've shown you. Now you can look for our other video where this user John Doe has received the email sent from there. He has received deployment email from the system, and then you will get to see in that video what then John did with the email to end up with the soft phone working. So look for that other video on deploying a soft phone. It's a follow-up video to this one, so I am going to attach that video to the end of this video so that you can follow and see what next to do after receiving the email. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.